Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and be sure to follow. Okay, folks, I like what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin chart here. Bitcoin over $74,000. On the daily chart, the MACD is in full control by the bulls. It's in the green, and the RSI is still not in the overbought zone. So it shows we have room to run here. We could potentially go to $80,000. Let's see what happens. It's not guaranteed. If we do look at the weekly chart, also seeing some positive signs with green candles on the weekly chart, the RSI moving away from the oversold zone, and it has ways to go. It's not even in the middle or the neutral zone, and the MACD just flipped green. But what's very interesting is the monthly. I like what I'm seeing here. So the MACD on the monthly is starting to flip to light red. And if you zoom out and see in the previous cycles, it is essentially us moving away from that bottom, right? The bottom is in and we're moving away. Now, of course, that's not guaranteed. We've seen markets fake us out, so we'll have to give this time to prove itself. But I like what I'm seeing here, guys. We are getting closer and closer to a confirmation of the bottom, whether it's already in or there's another leg down, which I think there is a high probability of it going to the 50Ks, but I could be completely wrong, right? I'm just sharing the scenarios with you. And no one has a crystal ball, and we want to look at the scenarios and see which one has the higher probability of playing out. So I like what I'm seeing here. My thesis has been that Bitcoin does a relief rally, altcoins follow, but it's just not a move to new all-time highs. I still think there's going to be some more back tests to test some of these lows before we start to slowly make our way out of this bear market and we head to new all-time highs, potentially by the end of the year or most likely next year. So that's my thesis. And again, I could be wrong, but I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm looking at from different chart analysis, Elliott wave, the on-chain signals and macro factors and much more. So we're going to have to wait and see, but I like what we are starting to see here, guys. It's light at the end of the tunnel. Now, as it relates to trend lines, Bitcoin has broken out above the post-October high resistance. And here's Zero Hedge. They're saying a retest of 90K is next. Could Bitcoin get as high as 90K? It's possible. That's one of the things I've been highlighting, that Bitcoin can always overshoot. It goes into the 80Ks before rolling over, but maybe it overshoots and goes above 90 before rolling over. So these are things to think about, and just again sharing the different scenarios so you guys can be prepared for what potential scenarios may play out. But this is a very good sign, breaking out of that trend line. And again, signaling potential bottom maybe in, or just a very strong relief rally, which will be good overall. Now, big players continue to accumulate. So Michael Saylor's strategy has purchased another 13,927 Bitcoin for approximately $1 billion at an approximate price of $71,902 per Bitcoin. And in addition, overseas Bitcoin treasury company Stack BTC, they've added $2.7 million in Bitcoin to their treasury. So we're seeing buying across the globe from digital asset treasury companies, not to mention ETFs. And speaking of ETFs, Morgan Stanley, as you all know, launched their ETF last week. And here, Nate Geraci, who's a big ETF expert, I've had him on the podcast many times, he highlighted that on Morgan Stanley's investment management homepage, they are now leading with crypto. So you land on their website and it's promoting crypto. How times have changed. And here Nate says it is wild to see. Hunter Horsley, founder of Bitwise Asset Management, tweeted out about this news saying, by the end of 2026, crypto will so obviously be a mainstream asset class, it won't even be an interesting topic anymore. This is a one-way train. So this is where I've been telling you guys, I'm believing that once the market structure legislations pass here in the United States, we have the largest capital markets. You have all of these on-ramps, DATs, ETFs, and other financial products coming into crypto for institutions, not retail. Retail has the on-ramps. I'm talking big money, right? And it's happening across the globe. And we have, clarity and other legislation passed in other countries. Super cycle kicks off. Massive amounts of liquidity massive amounts of capital and innovation happens. And I'm not saying we're going to pump overnight to $1 million of Bitcoin. No, but I think we're going to see a very, very strong crypto bull market plus incredible adoption. It's only going to continue to ramp up because the rules of the road will be clear. So I'm excited for once we get out of this bear market, this brutal bear market. And look, honestly, it hasn't been that brutal compared to the previous ones. Like 2022 was rough with all the collapses, the companies that were collapsing, FTX, Celsius, and much more. I think now the macro factors of the Iran war, tariffs, the economy, inflation, those things are kind of weighing on markets, but it's not that we're down, at the same levels like we've seen in the past. But that could be as a result of we didn't have the same upside that we've seen in the past bull market. So it's all relative, right? So just got to be patient and have the long-term view. And if you have the long-term view, a great place to invest in crypto as well as precious metals is on iTrust Capital. So iTrust Capital gives you an IRA where you can invest in 90 plus crypto assets, including stable coins like Circle USDC and Ripple's RLUSD. Obviously, all the major crypto assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and much more, plus precious metals like gold and silver. And you can trade this 24/7, and it's low cost and it's no monthly fee. And for the gold and silver, it's not paper gold and silver. It is the physical assets. So you can redeem that at any point. Not many platforms offer this. So this is really great. You get a mixture of crypto as well as precious metals, and you can pick which one you want to invest in, of course. So great option. But of course, the huge benefit here is tax advantages. And we know the United States itself is looking to put crypto and other alternative assets in 401k. So it's coming. The trillions that are in retirement are coming to crypto, of course. And you can get a head start by using the IRA on iTrust Capital. And you can roll over your existing 401k or IRA to iTrust version. They also offer a great custody solution called Premium Custody Account. So this uses institutional grade crypto custody, such as Coinbase Prime, which BlackRock uses, Fidelity Digital Assets, as well as Fireblocks. And it's a closed loop system. So if someone hacks into your account, they can't withdraw any funds. So great security option, great custody option. And I believe this is the second safest way to custody your assets behind self-custody where you control the private keys. But this is a great option where you can sleep at night knowing you're getting tier one custody solutions here that BlackRock uses and others, right? And it's low fees and you can operate within it 24/7. So guys, check out iTrust Capital. Great option. I have an account with them. And if you sign up at my link, you can get a $100 funding bonus. So go to itrustcapital.com/go/thinkingcrypto. The link will be in the description. Now, folks, today we got a huge update from the SEC. So Chair Paul Atkins and the team continue to put out a lot of guidance and rulemaking. So SEC proposes certain crypto interfaces don't need to register as brokers. If you recall Gary Gensler's tenure at the SEC, it was all about these crazy rules that he was trying to put into place, and it didn't apply to crypto and DeFi and self-custodial wallets. But it's a brand new day, the SEC, and things are moving in the right direction. So the Securities and Exchange Commission has issued a staff statement clarifying how the agency plans to interpret software interfaces facilitating crypto transactions in its broker-dealer regulations. In a Monday statement, the SEC's Division of Trading and Market staff said that under certain circumstances, interfaces that assist users engaging in user-initiated crypto asset securities transactions on blockchain protocols utilizing the user's self-custodial wallet may not necessarily be required to register as a broker-dealer with the agency. This absolutely makes sense. So if you and I are doing a peer-to-peer transaction, even if it's a tokenized securities a type of asset, why the hell would we need to register as a broker dealer, right? Because we're doing peer to peer. So this is really great guidance and so critical, I think, for the future adoption of crypto as well as DeFi. And, in the world we're heading in with tokenized assets and fractionalization and much more. So the SEC statement specified that self-custodial wallets with such user interfaces may be exempt from the registration requirements, provided that they do not solicit investors to engage in any specific crypto asset securities transactions, provide commentary on any potential execution routes displayed to a user, and other circumstances. Although the staff statement does not carry the same weight as a proposed SEC rule subject to public comment and review, it is intended to provide greater clarity on the application of federal securities laws to activities involving crypto asset securities. It follows several others that the SEC has issued following the inauguration of US President Donald Trump in January 2025, leading to a new leadership at the agency in what many have seen as friendlier to the crypto industry. So this is really, really great, guys. I love what the SEC is doing here. Now, here's a quote from SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce. While the staff expressing its view is helpful, I favor a more permanent regulatory approach that addresses the broker definition in light of current market circumstances. So we obviously need more guidance, and I think some of these things more fleshed out and in a more concrete format. So it looks like this is just a kind of a suggestive letter here, not necessarily rulemaking. So we'll need the actual rulemaking, and maybe they'll wait for the Clarity Act to pass to do so, or maybe not. I'll try to get Chair Atkins on the pod to talk about all these things. Now, on the legislation front, U.S. lawmakers take another swing at crypto tax policy with revised bill. So I believe once the Clarity Act is passed, the next big item they have to tackle is tax. Because, man, there's so many implications with staking rewards, with converting to stablecoins, with wanting to spend your crypto. Those things are not ironed out. And the IRS, it's a bit of a mess. So we need the clarity here. We need guidance to figure out how can people use crypto, and that would be significant for adoption as well. So Congressman Stephen Horsford, Democrat out of Nevada, and Max Miller, Republican out of Ohio, reintroduced their digital asset protection, accountability, regulation, innovation, taxation, and yields. It's actually, the acronym is Parity, Act late last month, seeking to update how the U.S. addresses crypto and taxes. Congress is going to address taxes in general in the coming months, and crypto may end up being a part of this. It's pretty important for anyone in the US who owns any crypto at all, given they have to report on their digital asset holdings and transactions. So important. So the Parity Act was first released in discussion draft form last December and re-released on March 26 for further review. The most immediately visible change appears to be the section addressing de minimis gains. De minimis exemptions generally allow for certain transactions to be exempted from tax reporting. Under such an exemption, people don't have to report the transaction or worry about the tax burden that might otherwise follow. So we got to get this right. We got to get this right. This will be so impactful for the adoption and people being able to do different things with crypto. Now, look at this news. ClearBank secures MiCA approval, targets Circle Euro dollar stablecoins for institutional clients. So, ClearBank Europe said it's the first Dutch credit institution cleared under the EU's MiCA rules to offer crypto services and plans to offer Circle's euro and dollar peg stablecoins. The approval lets the bank provide digital asset services without a new license, enabling clients to convert between fiat and stablecoins within a regulated clearing environment that could speed up cross-border payments. ClearBank will connect to Circle's Mint platform for access to the EURC stablecoin and USDC stablecoin as part of a broader strategy to link traditional banking infrastructure with digital asset markets in Europe and the UK. Guys, look at what's happening. Banks across the globe are doing this. Tokenizing, launching crypto custody, crypto trading and financial products, stablecoins, tokenized deposits. The building is underway, the on-ramps being set up, the network being built globally. And as I've said many times, the future capital markets, economies, and governments will all run on blockchain rails. So this is huge and further confirmation of where the puck is heading. Here's another example. Broadridge rolls out crypto tokenized asset platform for Canada wealth managers. So Broadridge Financial Solutions has launched a digital asset platform for Canadian wealth managers, allowing companies to offer cryptocurrencies and tokenized assets alongside traditional investments. According to Monday's announcement, the platform integrates trading, custody, and asset servicing, enabling firms to manage digital and traditional assets within existing workflows rather than through separate systems. It also supports both advisor-led and self-directed models with connectivity to custodians and exchanges. The platform offers access to cryptocurrencies and tokenized assets, including equities, funds, and alternative investments, with integrated wallets, institutional custody options, and connectivity to exchanges and asset managers. So incredible stuff here, guys. And this is, again, the puzzle pieces being put together here. And once legislation is fully in place, kicks off that super cycle, in my opinion. Now, final news item. Foundry launches Zcash mining pool, notches 29% hash rate in the first month. Now, Foundry, they've been doing a lot of Bitcoin mining. If I'm not mistaken, this company is owned by the Digital Currency Group, and they operate a huge Bitcoin mining pool. And the fact that they're going after Zcash or mining Zcash is pretty significant because we saw, maybe was it 3, 4 months ago, Zcash did really well because you had this privacy narrative out there. Could that narrative continue? This could be a sign that potentially, as we head into the next bull market, privacy continues to be a strong narrative, and they're starting to mine this token because obviously they can get a big return on it. So something to keep an eye on. This is one of the narratives I will continue to follow and research, and I'll share with you guys if I see, certain privacy focused tokens are going to start to take off because we have been seeing from a broader perspective that many different blockchains are looking to further build out their privacy solutions. Even if they're not specifically a privacy focused chain, but they have to do it because institutions want to use their blockchains, but institutions need to make sure their information is secure, right? So customer data and much more. And that's why I think the privacy narrative could continue, because if we're entering this era of mass institutional adoption, privacy is going to be a big part of it, right? These companies don't want to put their information at risk. They want to make sure they can transact in a private manner. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't as yet. Be sure to support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. Be sure to grab a copy. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto and blockchain technology. And folks, we got a big sale going on, a bear market sale where you can get 50% off the price of the course. Use the code BEAR, BEAR at checkout to get 50% off. Once again, use the code BEAR, BEAR at checkout to get 50% off. And again, comprehensive course packed with tons of value. So check it out. Knowledge is power. Expand your knowledge about this technology. Go to mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.